for you. Freedom.
Keep your ears to the ground.
Talking about the freedom.
It's the best show in town.
Let's show you that freedom. Well. Freedom.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right now.
Freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom. Well. Freedom. Come on, everybody. Young, old, all you lovers. This is our time to rise back from the sand and claim our freedom. Talking about the freedom. Let yourself be free.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right
Talking
now.
about the freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom.
I'll give you yes, it's right.
Freedom. Let yourself be
everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Learning 5e D&D. I'm your host and DM, Shane the Psychic. This is the series where we jump feet first into learning the 5th editions of Dungeons & Dragons. With me, as always, are my players. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
So, I want to start this week off with something new. Since this whole series is just about learning in general, I want you guys to kind of like tell me something new that you're learning this week. What have you guys got? What have you guys been up to?
You want to go ahead, Derek?
No, you're more than welcome to go first.
Do I have to
Oh,
roll dice? I'll
thank
roll
you.
dice. I mean, pick odds or evens, Derek.
Odds.
Chris, you're going first.
Evens. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm learning how to use Teams, Microsoft Teams for the military, which is interesting. So I'm doing virtual check-ins for certain periods of time. And they're making us do some really ridiculous, I mean, the unit's a civil affairs unit, so we have to, we're like a bunch of people that are made up of different specialties. And so we're technically the people that go in after the fight is over and essentially rebuild everything in a way, like make those relationships, teach people how to do things. And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting that we're doing all this research for this place in Canada, which is, I don't know, it's interesting, but other than that, it was cool to learn that, there were systems I didn't even know about with, the military that I could have access to at home. So many educational portals and things, and so I feel like there's so much I have to learn, which is good because I'm learning how to properly manage this. I can have access to CompTIA Security Plus. Didn't know that, but apparently I have access to it, so I can start learning it online. So that's a thing.
That's right. You are
Jada
military.
says hello to the world.
Wow. Jada is, of course, McCheeto's wife. She's
Anyways.
Mrs. McCheeto, or maybe she's Miss Frito-Lay.
Wow.
That's funny, and you know it.
Miss
Well,
Cheeto.
that's right. You are in the military, so thank you for your service, bud. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's always a lot of fun. Derek? Draco Blades.
To be honest, I probably haven't learned much this past week, but I am wanting to start understanding the psychology of dreams, specifically nightmares, because of recent events I've had in my sleep life, and trying to figure out why we have nightmares.
You know, that's one reason why I quit drinking. I would usually drink a beer with my supper, and it gave me nightmares, and so I stopped.
Well, my dreams, I normally have bad dreams where I'm eaten alive by zombies or monsters or something, and I wake up and I go back to bed, but I have one specific dream I've had, I think, 3 times in my life that absolutely terrifies me, where I have to wake up, I have to turn on a light, I have to turn on the TV, I have to get back to a sense of normal before I'm able to sleep again.
Does it have needles in it?
That's what I was going to ask, actually.
Has nothing to do with needles. I'd rather have needles, to be honest.
Wow.
It's a dream where basically I am randomly Russian rouletting to go to different terrifying worlds that I have created in my mind for some reason, and each one's different and just scares the living crap out of me. But I can't exactly remember what they are because I try to forget. I forget it so fast. I just
Do you recall when you woke up? Like what time
Yeah.
it is when you wake up?
I woke up. This was not last night, night before last. It woke me up at 6:30 a.m.
Because I've found lately that I get more dreams the closer I get to waking up. So I'm not sure if that's a thing. But
Maybe get a journal. That might be a good idea.
for me, when I'm closer to waking up, I normally have more control over my dreams. It's when I'm in a heavy kind of more deeper sleep, is when I have like nightmares or stuff that I can't control that actually wakes. Normally, I just have to change my. Mostly it's zombies, but normally I just have to. All right, let's stop thinking about zombies, think about something else for a minute, and then go right back to sleep. This dream, it doesn't matter. I have to take time before I can go back to sleep.
And it's going to new worlds that you've created?
Like, there parts of the dreams that I can remember. Like, I don't remember what actually scares me. But I remember that it's okay, I am in a world where we are basically being tortured, and you get to random roulette, and it goes to roll the last one, they've got different names and stuff. The last one was Terrafia or something. And I remember, like, something coming and grabbing me and just whooshing me to the world. And then I was absolutely terrified, and, like, a few seconds later, I woke up. Like, it terrified me out of a deep sleep. And I know it wasn't the same as the last time I had the dream.
I tell you what comes up immediately. My first impression is a fear of launching out and doing something new that you're supposed to be doing. Now, I told Chris, I had one of these moments with Chris this last week as well, and I said it was about gamers and bringing the gaming mentality where you can save and reload into D&D and just in life in general, because you make decisions and you get experience from your failures and this, that, the other. So I'm going to have you write that down. Maybe that's something that we can discuss later on.
That's possible.
See if that's applicable. Sit and think about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I can do that.
Oh, that was highly educational. Thank you for sharing that, man. That's really cool. It's really deep. Machito's over here just talking about, you know.
Well, Machito learns new stuff. I just talk about stuff.
What I'm learning this week, I started a project where I wanted to sit and learn, see if I could, and this will come into what happened this week. I wanted to make scientific names for all the races and monsters in my upcoming. Well, it's not upcoming. It'll be a while. It'll probably be over a year or so till we get to it. If we play once a week, but the world I've been hinting at creating for you guys to play in, and I was like, so I go and I look up the Latin names. I look up the kingdom, the phyla, the class, and like Homo sapien and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, okay, if I were to put this, if I use these terms to label what I have, and I was just like, oh, this ought to be a lot of fun. It's a bit of a process, and maybe it's a bit too anal retentive, like too detailed. But a part of me is just kind of like, only thing they really say is like, well, this is a humanoid. That's all that this is. It's a monstrosity. It's a beast, and aberration. And I'm like, well, what kind of denotes that? Is there something that I'm not seeing in the text that kind of says, hey, when you make something, well, this clearly is defined by these rules? And I'm like, maybe I should learn about that. So when I helped Machito clean out his mom's shed, she had like a lot of stationery and kind of like office stuff, and I found this huge strip of like tabs that you can put inside the books and stuff. And so I just made a legend the other night, and I was just like, okay, now this is a reptile, okay, reptilian, and oh, that's more like a fungus, and humanoid, and I was having a blast with it, and I was like, this is going to be a bit of a arduous process, but I think if I do this, it'll help me organize how this is going to look once I get inside the game. But yeah.
That's cool.
Uh,
That's
the
just saying too much detail. But.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are the same for the most part. Like, but when it comes down to it, it'll be interesting, um, how that all works. Like, how are orcs able to mate with humans and make children? And I was like, well, apparently, you know, it's like how a German Shepherd and well, I guess a Chihuahua can mate, but so that'll be something interesting. In health news, I bought a nice new gaming chair, which I'm using, because I sit behind the computer a lot, and I find my legs and my thighs going numb because I'm sitting all day, and so I'm learning to get adjusted to this, and I have to say I'm really excited about that. But I just put it together. I learned how to put one of these chairs together because after listening to Machito talk about his chair, I was like, well, hold on a second. This sounds like a complicated process. I was like, all right, well, one piece at a time. So, but yes, for that project, I did end up purchasing Mordenkainen's Tomb of Foes. I was going to ask you about Volo's Guide to Monsters, Derek. Is that more like a monster manual, or is it just kind of what?
So Volo's Guide to Monster is a more kind of in-depth.
So it's not like a monster manual, which
it does have lots of monsters. Like at the back, it's just got all monsters. But like the first few pages, it kind of gives you background to monsters, like orcs and hill giants and things like that. Gives you just more of a detailed description of them.
So it's not a bestiary.
Yes, let's see.
Yeah, I need to look that up. That'd be something to learn for next week.
It's got... So it has quite a few things. It's first 100 pages, though. I mean, it's got a bestiary, and then it's got monster lore of beholders, giants, gnolls, goblinoids, hags, kobolds, mind flayers, orcs, snake people. Kind of just gives you more of a background on them. Like the main used ones, I think, is what it is, and then it has tons of monster bestiary in it as well.
That may be something I need to pick up, but I've
like
got
the fire giant dreadnought stuff.
Oh my gosh, those things. Well,
Gnoll hunter.
I got that for that reason, is to kind of go through it and kind of add into learning. The other thing to help me with the game that I got, I almost feel like I'm sponsored by some of this, but I'm not. But I got like these cards because I wanted as many ways to have references to spells as I could. So I ended up picking up the cards, which you can see there on the screen. And each card has like sending, sleet storm, slow, speak with dead, stinking cloud, and almost like water breathing. And I was like, well, let's learn how these go. And I just so happened to pick up some cigar boxes with McCheeto, and they all conveniently fit right in that box. So that was kind of cool. I look forward to the next time I play a caster or anything like that. I'll have these cards like quickly to hand out to use as my own personal reference, and I'm excited to give them a try. I really am. So, well, that being said, guys, let's jump into some announcements. So next week, the 21st, we are planning on having another Let's Talk. It'll be nice. It's nice to kind of have them. After these one-shots to go over and discuss what we learn and how we can get better. And I'll probably message you guys about that this week. But essentially, this is an opportunity for things like accountability, how we can improve as players and DM, and how I can have done things, communicated better. And I know there's a few points of contention, which I'm always open to because you guys do usually a pretty good job of sharing your thoughts in a creative, a healthy way. Next week, I will be announcing our next one shot, so be aware of that, so you guys can start kind of thinking about ideas of how you find yourself in this situation, how your character react. Remember, you will be taking your characters into this next one.
If they survive.
It, oh my god, yes, if you guys survive. Or it could be a prequel. Who knows how you guys met? Accidentally. I'm also planning on having a start date for our playthrough of Rima the Frost Maiden. So I did some math of when it may get to me, about how long it'll take me to kind of digest and get things in, and kind of set up Fantasy Grounds. So that'll be a fun time. Also, very importantly, next week I'm planning on having a few new guests on as well. I'm hoping that they'll join our ranks and our adventures. So, but more on that next week. I also learned that D&D Beyond has started testing a new combat tracker. I don't know if that combat tracker will include maps or anything of that nature for you to move your characters on. I'm guessing that they're kind of making that more as like we're in person and I just have this combat tracker to add stuff in, like on an iPad or something like that, to make it easier for us. But I would like to try that in the near future to see if that how that stacks against something like maybe Fantasy Grounds. But I'm also glad that Fantasy Grounds is here. Not sponsored, but I really enjoy what I've played with so far. I don't know. What do you guys think about Fantasy Grounds?
It works. Personally, between doing this and Roll20, I do kind of like Roll20 a little bit more. But that's just me.
Well, that's interesting. I hear that Roll20 is a bit more difficult on the DM side.
Which is possible. Like, as a player, I think I like Roll20 more. Not as a... I don't know how the DM... I do know DMs have a lot they have to do.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of extra prep work goes into that. I know my good buddy, he has that, and he deals with that quite often, actually. So that's more of a chore for him.
I like the roll system and everything combined with your, put your character sheets and stuff, and but that's me.
Fair enough. Michito, speak up, son.
I'm just listening. As far as my point of view on it, I guess I'd rather it be more open source, I guess, in some of the ways that some of the tools are provided. But I mean, I get it. They have to charge for the subscription for more characters to have access to. I mean, you can always print it off, I think, as well. So.
We have the paid version of it. I guess there's a subscription. I'm not really sure if that's going to add more to it or not. But
well, when you're talking about like a paid, we're talking about there's a subscription base for you to get all of like unlimited access to it.
Oh, yeah, that's expensive. We're not quite there yet. Okay. But then again, at some point, we're probably going to have all the books anyway. I'm not going to lie on that one.
Woo!
I'm working on my collection. I mean, I want to do this whole bestiary thing, so I'm excited to see where that's going to go. But that being said, that's all we have for right now. Let's get into tonight's episode of Learning 5e D&D. When we last left off, if I had a starter video, I would probably I would play that and get Chris to cosplay or something like that. He actually does have a mage outfit if he wanted to. So,
Chris, you scandalous person.
So scandalous.
Which is interesting because I sewed it. Like I made it. It was a theater project for my wedding, or yeah, for class. But I made it for my wedding, so it was dope. Anyway, when we last left off, our heroes were in the fight for their lives. They found the heart of the creature behind the strange occurrences within the manor. A strange harp-shaped creature of a fiendish nature with several tentacles whirling around it, reaching out for the players to put them in its gaping maw. The creature has been eating people to extend his life and the life of its confidant, Lord Berkstaff. Or at least it would have been if it were not for James Fairbrand, the usurper. In a daring coup, he took the power Berkstaff once held and regained his youth along with Berkstaff's arcane abilities. He has taken the mantle of feeder, and this creature is hungry. As the fight begins, Varro launches into a focused assault on the fiendish heart. James moves a giant contraption to feed the creature. Farragos uses his last remaining power to subdue James Fairbrand in vain. It does not take long for his brother Jim to catch up with him and confront him. Jim and James, brothers, fight on the catwalk above the creature. Jim, still an elderly man, holds his own against his now younger brother. Detective Rhubarb and Amy, the tiefling waitress, make their way up to the second platform and are able to cut down the ropes holding the automated meat hooks, sending it down towards the creature. Varro just gets out of the way just in time before it crashes on the creature. In anger, the creature lashes out and scoops up the detective, eating him in one gulp. The creature's wounds begin to heal, and James takes in a surge of power as the creature feeds. James uses his new arcane abilities to take hold of the warrior, Varro, and send him after his friend. Vargeros musters his courage and sends a blast of cold after James, releasing his friend from his hold. Varro's anger would have fallen on the Fairbrand brother, but his anger would be sent to another plane. It was time for the creature to feed. It is time to let it is left to Farragos to stop the feeding fiend from reaching his full strength. When we last left off, I can get this thing to pop up here. Booyah. And here we are. We were in the middle of combat. And, yeah. Fargeros
music
is currently being drugged to the mall and is grappled. Varro is banished, and it is now the younger Fairbrand brothers' turn.
Are we on the map? Can we be placed on the map, please?
You should be on the map. Can you see it?
It doesn't show us on there, Shane. It shows the other characters. I don't know if it needs to be updated.
I wondered about this.
I remember where I was, but...
No, I mean, can you see the map, first of all?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see your characters on the map?
No.
Okay, somebody changed something.
Okay, I was trying to see if that would affect you, and apparently it did, so... I'm sorry.
Oh wait, can you move your token?
I can see the token now that you have.
Okay. So what did you do to get that?
The one I brought in.
Well, no, the other one, Derek.
I think you clicked on it. Unclick the one Derek had, his character. Like if you click it. Oh wait, Derek, did you leave?
No, I just all of a sudden I'm gone.
What?
Says you're still connected. Oh, there you are.
No, I guess I was gone. Like it just all of a sudden I was gone from there. Okay.
Okay, that's still.
Derek, can you see your token now?
No.
Yeah, I still don't see his. Only on yours. There it is.
Well, that's something interesting. How about now, Derek?
Yep, I can see it now.
All right.
Okay. That's interesting that it does that.
Yeah, right?
What was weird is when I dragged mine in, it then gave me the option to see it. So I don't know if you clicked on that to where it became visible to me.
Honestly, no clue. James Fairbrand, his turn is up. So what he's going to do, let's see what he has left.
Oh yeah, I made him use up all his spell slots.
In true fashion, I really probably should have pulled these cards up first, but I didn't. So I'm looking through these cards for trying to think of what he's going to do next. Which, to be fair, I probably should have had already done. That's okay. I'm still learning.
How dare you?
Shut up.
Wonder if there's a way to remove the dice
What do you mean?
on the screen for this. Like for the board.
Probably. Haha, found it. Dude, that makes it so convenient.
Where is it?
Oh, no. No. That's not going to work. I can't tell you what his spell list is, but yes.
No, I thought you were
Of
talking
course
about the
you can.
dice.
So, James sees this big the contraption that he used to put bodies on, sitting on top of the sitting on top of his creature, and the bodies that were under the bodies that were still being hung up there kind of lay under the debris. From this vantage point, you can see that he is go ahead and make a perception check for me, Fargeros.
Oops. Hold on. Let me get it pulled up here. You said a what check? Perception?
Perception check, please. So, from this perspective, you he can't really move much further into this area, but as he looks at it, he realizes that the wood is kind of keeping it where it is, and he begins casting something you're familiar with, and that is gonna be actually, okay, so you know that he's fixing to cast a spell. Maybe I should have had you make go ahead and make an Arcana check. That's my bad. I probably should have had you do that instead. You notice he's casting a cantrip that is quite familiar to you, Acid Splash, and you see him cast it at the at the rigging that's up there, and given his level of power, and from where you're at, you could probably see that it is melting some of the wood, and you hear this large snap of wood. You smell like obviously the acid that's there, and it becomes clear to you that he is trying to break apart this this structure in order to get presumably to the bodies that lay beneath it for the creature to feed on.
There's bodies above it.
No, there's bodies. It had bodies in it when it fell down, but the creature can't grab the body because of the these big wooden grids that are that were in the ceiling, but now they're on top of the creature.
Also, he's being crushed by this system, and then he's trying to open it up for him to feed on.
The creatures, yeah. What's going on, Derek?
Sorry. My phone's going haywire. I was looking something up.
Go ahead. So he casts that. He doesn't move. He's focused on that. You're being grappled, so he ignores you. It is now. He cast that.
Don't die, Amy.
Amy's gonna be eating like everyone else.
Oh my gosh, you're so horrible.
I don't want her to die.
I'm sorry. Am I the one eating them? No.
Yes, you are. Stop doing that. Leave him alone. You're banished. That's why you're upside down.
I want to be upside down.
Just constantly spinning.
Yeah.
That's what I'll just stay spinning.
Fargeris, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Okay, I'm grappled, correct?
Go ahead and make a strength or dexterity savings check to see if you get out of it.
Now, is that going to use my action, though?
Yes.
Action, or is it just his movement?
No, it's his action to try to break it.
So I thought. Let's see. Hold on. So, viewing this, you said that he threw acid at the wood. How is it very broken up? Like, does it look like it could be accessed, or is it still gonna?
From this vantage point, you can't tell, because it is directly on the other side of this big, gigantic creature.
Where would you say that's at? It's just on the opposite side.
It's just on the opposite side, yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
So the rigging, is it all across where we are as well?
Nope. Well, it is above you, but it took
creatures hit.
Yeah, but it took Amy and Rhubarb going across the whole entire top of that side to cut it down.
Now, is there still parts of it like held up by rope? Because I know that's what they were breaking.
They're two different sections. So like you have your section on the left and your section on the right. And he put bodies on both sides. He was feeding the bodies from the left side, where you're currently standing, into the creature. And so he hadn't fed them on the right side. So when the rigging fell on the right side, the bodies are still there. So if you could get up there to cut the rope, you can drop it like it did before. So it's kind of up to you. Do you want to move? Do you want to attack? Do you want to try and do that? But you are being pulled in right at the moment.
Yeah. Where would you say it is on the wall? here from where I'm at. Could I see that rigging rope from here? Based on my perception.
Let's see. There's one here. This is the wall, by the way, not where the space that it's at.
Right.
There's one here.
Like the first line is just the showing the secondary level, and then the other one is the wall, right?
Yeah, this I'm marking these X's because that's where the wall. That's right in the wall. There's 5 in total. You were up there. You saw it when you were up there. You know, actually, I'm gonna have you make another perception check for me. Yes, you do recall where they were at, roughly where they were at, and you recall seeing what Amy and Detective Rhubarb were doing.
Okay. Give me 1 second, I'm reading something on this spell.
I would say that Derek, you're on deck, but you're kind of banished. So
No, yeah, it's all good. Give Cheeto all the time he needs. He's got to pull something out of his hat.
Okay, so that's not a bonus action. I'm gonna post this in OOC just in case. Or, well,
No,
wait, did we say it needs to be in bin?
yeah, it needs to be in bin. It kind of helps.
I'm casting it, but I'm posting it here to have you look at it and see if I can make an assessment later with it. But I'm not gonna use it. Spell Mage Hand. If I recall, that's not a bonus action in any way, shape, or form. And Derek, you can give your input, but Amy's right there, right?
She's she's grappled and she's being pulled in as well.
Am I close enough to help her get out?
That's a good question. With you being grappled and helping her grapple,
Oh.
what's your plan here? Tell me what your plan is.
I'm thinking actually I want to try and help her get out of that so she can get up and possibly help me with the rigging if I can get out.
Well, James is right behind you.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's right behind you. Or Jim, excuse me. Jim's right behind you.
Is he okay?
He's bleeding pretty bad, but he's up. He's not dead.
What's his name again? You said James?
Jim.
Jim Jameson Jr.
Jim
I'm like
and
swinging in the air with with his tentacle.
well, he grabbed you from the top and pulled you down, so he's actually dragging you to his mouth. You and Amy. So, Derek, what do you recall on grapple? Can you? I'm sure you can help somebody with that. I just don't.
If he uses his action to cast Mage Hand and then uses his bonus action help, I believe, he could, like on her next turn when she tries to get away from her grapple, it would be
With
she just have
advantage?
advantage, yeah. But I don't remember who goes first.
He goes first.
Who's on second? Sorry. Jim Bob Joan James. You gotta get the forgot his name. Oh kid. Yeah, that was the thing. I wasn't sure if if I cast it, then that's an action, and then actually controlling it is another action.
No, I'm pretty sure controlling it is a bonus action. Because it doesn't take 2 actions. Then you just, if you want to use your mage hand every time, it would be an action. It is just a bonus action to use it. You just have to use an action to cast it.
Use your action to control the hand. You can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, slow or retrieve an item from an open container, or pour the contents of a vial out. Well,
Maybe
the weapon.
that's just a Matt Mercer rule.
You can't. There may be something in the arcane tricks that allows them to do that.
That could be.
Probably.
I'm gonna say if you're gonna use if you're actively trying to help her escape, then I'm gonna say that's probably your action.
But I could reach her with this mage hand if I'm not within.
You're right next to her.
Well, what I'm saying is, if I'm grappled, there's no way for me to really physically help her other than using mage hand to do it.
Well, if you use mage hand, you can't help her because you'd have to wait till next turn. I mean, you could with she gets grabbed. I mean, you're being grappled. You both are on the ground. Like you could. I mean, like it's got a hold of you and it's pulling on you. If you want to reach over and try and help her, you can. She'll just get advantage on it. But I don't. I mean, you're still grappled though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't sure how much physical, movement I can actually do to help her, and that's why I was saying if I cast Mage Hand, I can use that as the extension to help her get out of the tentacle's grasp.
Well, she's currently being pulled in, so like if you both are being pulled in at roughly the same speed at this point. So
Right, so all I'm asking is, can Mage Hand be used to help her in getting her to have an advantage on her getting out of a grapple? That's my question. If you're saying I can just use an action to help her with grapple, then that's what I'll do. Because the initial question was, am I actually able to help her?
you can help. You can help her right. Based where you're at right now, you can help her out if you wanted to, without having to use Mage Hand.
Okay. I'm gonna try that, and then tell what's his name to go and try and cut the ropes. James. You said James, right? Jim.
You should write these down. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's Jim and James, so I just keep getting them mixed up.
And Jamie walks through the door.
The long lost,
Banging the-
the long lost brother.
They're like huge triplets.
Gosh, that would be a plot twist, wouldn't it?
And then their sister Jessica. Gosh.
Jenny would be more applicable.
No, their sister is also named Jamie.
So what are you doing?
Like I said, I'm gonna help her with getting out, give her advantage, and then tell Jim. Oh God, I'm being pulled in. You gotta cut the ropes.
Is that how Fargeros talks? I thought Fargeros was different than that.
You know what? In this situation, he doesn't really know how to talk right now. Being pulled by this creature.
Jim looks at you and he's like, eh? And he looks up and he sees the rigging. He snaps his finger. I always knew you were a clever lad. And he's like, you can see his hand. He's trying to use his blade as a cane, and there's a lot of blood around his stomach. But he nods and turns back. Amy will have advantage on her getting out of their roll to get degrappled.
And hopefully I'm going to say the same thing to Amy and be like, Amy, as soon as you get a chance, cut the ropes, help him. We got to bring this creature down. Talking like Fargeros. Because I forgot how he talks.
Oh my gosh. If you had an inspiration point, you would lose it. What?
Crap, I'm dumb. What am I doing?
Garros. Amy. Go.
Okay.
It's gonna take me a second.
So at that point, that ends your turn. Varro is still being pestered by bunnies.
That's number 2 or 3.
That is round number 2.
Okay.
So let me write that on my thing. Round 1 of banishment. So it's not the top of it yet. Jim.
What's round 2 of banishment?
This is round 2 of banishment. You're correct.
So yeah, well, I'll be going to round 3, so I have 8 more. Oh, good lord! Never mind. Continue.
You got this.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing. I've got a bunny
Kill
in my
those
hand.
bunnies.
I'm not. Varro's literally petting a bunny. He's like, I wonder if they're dead yet.
5. Oh my gosh.
Start putting them in your bag.
5. 10. 15. And since you're no longer there, that's fine. And he makes an attack roll on the
That'd be weird if he came from a banishment and just like
Taking
morphs with Jim. Jim Varro.
Okay. He successfully cuts this rope. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He gets another attack. Misses that one. He goes to swipe. But he winces in pain and kind of scrapes his blade against the ceiling. And he's kind of... and he just kind of looks at his... He looks at his wound and he sees all the blood and he starts to get kind of dizzy. Takes a deep breath. And that will end his turn. Amy has advantage, and as your guys are being drugged, she's kind of like, and you reach over and you are able to help get her foot loose from it, and she is free. I forgot what was the penalty from grapple. Like if you get out of a grapple, well, she's prone.
You have to use your movement, right?
She's prone. So she takes 15 feet to stand up, 20, 25, 30. She is now at the top of the stairs, and she's smiling, and she nods at you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And she's visibly shaking at this point. She's trembling harder than she's ever had before. And she's at the top of the stairs. And she's going to take another, use her action to move. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. She gets there. She's wheezing. But she's got her dagger ready. But she's not able to get that out. And that ends her turn. It's round 3 of banishment for Varro. So the Manor Heart is up next.
Big old heart. I wonder if there's chocolate inside.
Yeah, she beat that. Okay. It makes an attack towards Jim and misses. Makes another attack. Misses Amy for a change. Crying out loud. And then it drags you 10 feet. 5, 10. 1, 2, 5, 10. Okay. And that is going to end its turn. James once again casts. So, you still can't see it, but he casts acid again. That's 7 plus. Okay. You hear an even louder as you can kind of see a big snap piece of wood come up, and the creature's third tentacle just kind of starts focusing in on that area, trying to get at the bodies in there, but hasn't quite gotten it yet. All right. That ends its turn. Oh, James is focused on that. Trying to get him fed. Okay. Fargeros, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Since I'm this close now to the creature, well, fairly close, is there anything weird that I noticed with it being this close?
You're gonna have to define weird.
You mentioned before that I saw this hint of... Wow, golly. Yara? Not Yara. Why do I keep forgetting my own sister's name?
That was her
Tara.
name. No, that was her name.
No,
Yara.
it was Tara. No, it was Tara.
I've written down Yara. Yara,
It's
younger
Tara.
sister, bookbinding.
T-A-R-A. Should be Tara.
I'm gonna have to have you guys start submitting these in writing.
Tara.
I do have it in
T-A-R-A.
writing. I for some reason, I'm having a hard time locating where I wrote it, but it's here.
Well, the reason I say it was Yara is because because she would be able to choose her name, I think. But okay.
I have it written down as Tara. Tara. T-A-R-A.
Well, he has another sister. I thought his older sister's name was Tara.
No, it's Caroletta is her.
Oh, Caroletta. Yeah, I have that. Sure. Okay. Woodcrafting, younger sister. Okay. It was on the other side of the body. I mean,
What was?
that face you saw of her. I'm not sure what you're trying to do, though.
That's what I was asking, if I had noticed that. I didn't know it was on the other side of the body. Like, as me, the person, Chris, I didn't know that
Yeah, it's on the other side.
Fargero saw that. So if he knew that, then he knew that. But I wouldn't have done that for the character.
So, yeah, it was on the other side of her of the heart.
Because I was trying to figure out if I knew what this thing was, and that's why he would have. Because he's a mystery person, so he's trying to figure out what this thing is. But
It's dragging you to a small to be eating you, and this is interesting. This is what's going through your brain. I wonder.
yeah, that's his personality. It's also his flaw. But
It's a bit of a stretch as you're being dragged to your death. But okay, if that's where your brain's at, I mean, you know.
I mean, he fought an Eddie or whatever that thing was. Etten.
I'm not sure how that's applicable, but okay.
That's not like he's unfamiliar with fighting. But he always likes a good mystery. That's what I wrote. So he's gonna try and get out of this tentacle here. And
Okay.
what do I roll? It's a.
You will
Athletics
roll
or-
a.
I think it's either one, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
It's acrobatics for sure if I'm picking.
I believe it's acrobatics. Yeah, acrobatics check or athletics. So choose which one you'd like. You fail.
Yeah.
You are still grappled, sir.
I don't think I can cast a spell, so.
Okay.
I'm just wriggling. Get the ropes
If that
before
thing,
he eats me.
if that thing drops, it's gonna drop right on top of you. By the way.
Do it anyway. Someone's gonna die, and it's not gonna be just me.
All right. So that's end of your turn. Varro's turn. He's
7 more rounds.
7 more rounds.
Woo! Love these bunnies. They're all cute and cuddly.
Jim's turn. He goes to attack. He leans up against the wall and carefully cuts right through it. You start as you're on the ground. You're looking up. You see the rigging start to start to bow really bad. And he will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 come over here and misses. Again, the pain of his wound, he's able to move over that way, but still not able to finish that cut. It is now Amy's turn. And top of the round, so Derek, you have 6 more rounds in Bunnyland.
I will find you, friend.
Natural
I'm gonna name you Figueros. I'm gonna name you Amy. I'm gonna name you the a-hole.
Amy flicks out her blade, cuts that rope, natural freaking 20, without a problem. She moves 5, 10 this way, and that ends her turn. The Manor Heart, 5, 10. As you get pulled into this last square, you go up in the air. You're a good 5 feet off the ground. As it looks at Maul. He makes an attack on Jim and Amy. Jim is now unconscious in front of the rope. His tentacle smacks him out, and he goes straight on, smashes him against the wall, and he is now unconscious, up against the wall. And Amy turns back and just barely catches it and is able to duck, and hits the wall and misses her. And he drug you with his third tentacle. Okay, then that brings it back to James. James cast once again. 7, 14, 20, 11, 7, 14. You see him once again create the energy required to make his last acid spell. He throws it, and Fargarrison, where you can see now, you can see the main large pillars of this whole entire thing that's being held together. One of the beams is burnt through with acid. The second beam burnt through with acid, and you see another big old blob of acid just completely decimate this last thing. The whole entire rigging shatters apart and comes to the ground. The body's just kind of laying there in the middle now. Easy pickings for the creature. He turns back and looks at you. So, and you see, boy, I win. You're about to be meal. I'll enjoy your life force. It'll keep me alive for quite some time. And it is now your turn, Christopher. Fargeros' turn is up next.
How many ropes did you say were cut? Is it just the two there next to that are still left?
There are... The one in G2 is cut. The one in E2 is cut. Please make note of that, please. And the one in C9 is cut. Amy just made it to this one. Jim was trying to cut this one, didn't quite make it through. So there are 2 left.
How many rounds is it for... Oh wait, never mind. That just answered my own question. If I use a spell on the rope, does the damage from the spell give the chance for the rope to break?
What's the name of it again? Let me see. Let me double check. Ray of Frost. Probably should have this. I have it on my cards.
I posted it.
Okay. Freshy beam of white towards. If you hit it, yeah. But you need to make a spell. Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Now, one last question. If I'm getting put into the creature's mouth, is there a save during that time?
He will make a melee weapon attack.
Melee weapon attack, okay.
So you could be in there, but if you're still alive, I mean, you know. So.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Frostbite on the creature. So that means he does a... Hold on. Do I even want to do that? Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
John's DC's a 15.
Natural 20.
Son of a gun, he's been getting it this entire. Well, he still takes what is that? 4 damage.
Half rounded down 4. He'll take 4 points of damage, correct? Because of your that's right.
All right. Amy, get the ropes, quick!
I mean, alternatively, you could have cast it on Jim to see if it breaks his concentration spell.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if he still had his freaking nullify spells.
Counter spell.
Counter spell, yeah.
Well, he can only use that so many times as he has spell slots.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how many he's got as far as with how many he's used. But
Okay.
I was trying to see if I could get a disadvantage on the creature, but that's my turn. So I mean, don't know why we're sitting on me.
Okay, Varro is still playing with bunnies.
I've officially killed all the bunnies.
No, you haven't. Stop that. How dare you?
Start putting them in your bag.
Jim makes a. Yeesh.
Golly.
Fails one of his death savings throws. He's sitting there bleeding out. That's the end of his turn. Amy gets up, and she nods, and she cuts the rope. All of a sudden, you see this ricket start to sway as it's barely being held up by its last one. Amy moves to Jim's side, panicking because of that. So, the end of her turn. Manor Heart. You see its tentacles whip around to these other two of these bodies and begin to scoop them up. Its eye is red from the blast of its blast of cold damage that you did to it. But it just kind of shakes it off and uses its other tentacles to do that. So, what's your AC, Fargeros?
13. Good thing I put something in dexterity, I guess.
It takes a big bite out of you. It does 15 points of damage to you. You have 1 hit point left. You can feel your head start to swim as you lose body. You look down, you see all these piercing marks, and the creature's just like. James, happy with his success, turns and sees Amy.
can't win them all, James. Gonna get karma, that's what he's gonna get.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could always try and see if you can break his concentration.
I know.
He doesn't have. Look something up here.
Be interesting to see when we get some more people here. Hope Mr. Derek's still here.
He's asleep.
With the bunnies.
Actually, that you mentioned that, I did remember that I went to bed about 5:30 this morning and woke up at 9:20.
You went to what?
I went to bed at 5:30 this morning and woke up at 9:20.
Why?
In all reality, I was a little afraid to go to sleep. I was afraid of having that nightmare again. So I watched TV.
No, I get that.
But this is how D&D goes. Sometimes you just sit and watch everyone else play. Luckily,
Yep.
I was one of those people that would watch other people play, like Skyrim and Oblivion and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be a good idea. Perception. Of course, natural 20. So Lord Burkstaff, wow. James turns to see Amy cutting ropes, and he hears the bowing back and forth of the rigging, and he sees the one rope left, and he sees Amy right next to it. He turns to see this, and he's like, "No, you won't stop me either." And he starts again creating a blob of acid, and he throws it at her. And she's able to notice it, drops right down to the ground, misses, goes right over her shoulder, kind of burning the back of her shirt as it hits the wall and just slides down. Misses. As a bonus action, he doesn't have that anymore. Okay. And that'll end his turn. No, he'll... Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, wait. Does he even need to move? No, he don't need to move. He'll just hit her again next round. Okay. And that'll end his turn. Fageros. Your turn, buddy.
Question: when he cast that spell, did he drop concentration for the banishment?
The only way he drops the concentration is by casting another concentration spell.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just asking.
No,
or taking damage and failing a save. Woo, coo.
Oh wow, why didn't I think of that?
Amy, coo,
No
throw
need
the dagger.
to throw shade the entire.
Nah.
no, I get it. You're afraid
I
of
don't
counterspell. I mean, I that's fine, man. That's fine.
No, I completely understand too. I did think maybe Amy would just throw her dagger, hit him in the eye.
Then how's she gonna cut the rope?
I'll cut it when I come back, bro.
Shh, if you come back, let's calm down.
I'll come back eventually.
Eventually.
They may all be dead before.
Everyone's dead. They're just waiting for you, and they just grab you, and I don't know. You 1v1 all of them. Who knows?
Actually,
your turn, Fargeros.
I'm still grappled in the mouth of this thing, right?
He just took a bite out of you, and like you're still hanging there. He just
Could I hit James? Melee hit him? I have a quarterstaff, but I don't know if I would have it at this point.
I mean, it's on you if you want to use it.
The question is, am I in range?
You're 5 feet away from him.
Okay, I wasn't sure if, like, with how that works with being grappled, if I could still hit him.
The only thing grapple does is means you can't move. Back in the day, yeah, you couldn't use a quarterstaff because of that reason.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just cast Frostbite so I don't have to worry about a hit die, so...
On who?
On James McGee over here.
Frostbite or the other one?
Frostbite.
Okay.
So, con 15.
Natural 20.
Still takes damage.
Take 3 points of damage. Takes 3. As you create the ice, you're thinking to yourself, you're hoping that he's out of counter spells, and as he's paying attention to Amy, he doesn't even see, he not paying enough attention to you because he's focused on her. You create this blast of ice, and you throw it forth, and he notices just at the last moment, but he realizes he can't do anything about it, and a blast of ice hits him in his face. He barely dodges it, but it still freezes up the side of him. He's like, ah! And you can see his hand go blue for just a moment as he takes his damage. Concentration.
Come on.
What's the DC, Derek?
It's a DC of 10.
So if he rolls 10 and below, it breaks.
Correct.
Welcome back.
Yes!
You are now no longer banished. He gets a brain freeze. He's like, ah! And he winces in pain, and he looks up. No! I won't let you. Let's see here. He was here. There. Misses out the way. Ooh. Okay. So now, all of a sudden, you hear this kind of vacuum sound. And you see this big, hulking, very pissed off, but also missing his bunnies, angry, fuming warrior, hulk of a man, Varro, who has his blades ready and is eager with every ounce of his strength to get some killing done. Which so happens it is now his turn.
Let's see. Let's see. Dang it, I can't. Okay. So I'm going to move my full movement speed 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Just so you know, the rope is still over right next to there. There's only one left.
I don't know that.
Oh,
Bro,
you
just came back and.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll shut up.
There's no way I see that. Actually, I'm gonna go here, and we're just gonna take 2 big swings at the big guy.
Holy crap.
I'm back, baby.
All right.
Gosh.
First with the battle axe. 24 to hit for 10 damage.
Hits.
And then the other one with the warhammer.
I don't know.
14 to hit for 9 if it does. Can't remember if it hits.
So as you jump down, wait. So where were you at? You were here.
I was E, and then you see the stairs were right in front of me because I came up from the stairs, was going to attack Figueros, and you sent me away.
So
So I went down 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
30 would put you here, I think. Hold on, let me do the math again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30 would put you here. Which that's still close enough to hit him.
Well, but if I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30...
For some reason, it didn't show me what you just did.
Okay, so there's 5.
So
10.
There's a 10-foot drop. If you jump over there, that's a 10-foot drop.
Can I make an athletics? So if it's a 10-foot drop, that's not actually my movement speed, though, unless... Or do I need to make an acrobatics or athletics check?
You can still make it like you should still make it to H7 if you want to, but
Let's do it.
because if you fail that, end up failing that save, then that means you're not gonna be able to get there.
Okay, yeah, we'll go from there and we'll just...
I was like, no, I want this. Your axe comes in and hits the side of the creature, who you could almost see the creature lift up as it turns back. And as you come in with your warhammer, it flicks it away, and it goes, bish, misses.
Alright, and then, let's see here. Yeah, that's gonna be my turn. That's my turn.
Do you have any bonus actions to attack, or?
No, I don't have anything. I still haven't gotten a short rest, so I still can't use my other stuff.
Okay. So...
Is Amy still up?
Yeah, she's on the top thing.
Amy.
Jim's up. He is still bleeding out. Yeah.
Wait, is he bleeding out? I thought he was still up.
Oh, he's alive, but he's currently making his death saving throws.
Oh, so he went unconscious.
Yeah, he's unconscious.
Oh, I missed that apparently.
You wouldn't have known that, yeah.
How did you go unconscious? Out of curiosity, what I missed?
I didn't go unconscious.
Oh, Jim. Jim's unconscious.
Yeah.
I thought
Jim.
you were unconscious. I'm like, whoa, hold on, what did I miss?
Oh, screw Jim. I mean, he just, So it's Amy's turn.
An asshole.
Who he's fighting against, by the way. Okay. Amy has a choice to make: to save Jim or to cut the rope. Okay. Amy looks at you, and she's happy to see that you're back. Her tail flicks back and forth, and she goes to cut the rope, but she turns back. She's like, "If I cut the rope, sir, you'll be crushed to death." And she's referring, obviously, to you, Varro. And she's having a struggle of conscience.
No beam can hurt me.
And she just kind of breathes, and she takes her shot. She tries to make her way through the rope, but she's not able to completely cut through it. And it still hangs on there, literally by a thread. The Manor heart is now up, and it is angry. It focuses all of its attacks on Varro. And, good lord. I'm rolling 20s while you're gone.
I scared it. It's coming back, baby.
And the minute... Oh, well, he gets one more attack. Still misses. Never mind. Stupid. And... That's it. Oh, okay, yeah. That's it for its turn. James's turn. Looks at you. He's like, I see how you want to play it. I actually got to look that one up.
What you looking up, man? Huh?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's what I asked, bro.
Listen here. Sass-free zone, you understand me?
Have you met Varro? Or Draco?
Let me turn into this wonderful player's handbook. Page 218. Okay. So, he looks at you, and he's just like, he just smiles there for a second, and he's just like, well, if you don't want to stay gone, I'll just have to kill you myself. And he creates this, he starts casting, and all of a sudden you see this big green translucent energy form around his hand. He goes, and all of a sudden you see a ginormous fist hand come your way, made out of arcane energy, and it grabs you. I need you to make athletics. Athletics.
What are you trying to have me do? Or
you're being grappled.
So am I trying to dodge the hand or just outstrength the hand? Or like
you're going to I believe, gosh. Grapple.
I mean, I can roll athletics. I just want to make sure that's the one you want me to roll.
Grappling.
I think you can choose, right?
Make a... Well, he has a higher strength. So that's why I said athletics.
Okay. Athletics?
Make an athletics check for me.
23.
What did you say happens if you both get the same number?
If If we both get the same number, it should go to the defender.
Wait, let me double check that number.
It's from my understanding, it's like when you take half damage.
Oh
it
no,
goes
I get.
to
I'm sorry. You're a smaller creature. I get advantage. You are now grappled. Because it is a bigger creature than you. Is it that?
What is this?
It's Big B's hand.
Okay.
And you take 9 plus 17 rounded down 8 points of bludgeoning. Oh no, this is magic. So you take
It's the damage. Is the damage magical or just the hand? What kind of damage does it say it does?
when you do so the target takes bludgeoning damage equal to 2d6 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay, so it's still just regular damage. It's not magical damage.
So then you will take 8. It rounds down. Half of that is 16. 8 and 8, 16. So you take half of 16 is 8. 8 points of bludgeoning damage. So you are now at 30. No, yeah, 32.
I'm at 30.
I had you as having 40 hit points left.
Okay.
Did you take I guess.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
So we'll go with 32.
Okay.
Points of damage left. And that's his bonus action to clinch onto you. And that is his turn.
I'm about to go kill them. Trying to be nice and kill the big heart.
Well.
Is that what you call it?
Wow. Okay. So now it is Fargeros' turn.
I'm still alive.
You still got 1 hit point left, bud.
I'm not in the meaty maw of...
It bit you, it didn't eat you.
Okay, good. Let's see. So, that one rope is still attached. Okay.
Amy's... yeah. You're still grappled.
So would I be hit by that then?
Hit by what?
If that rope broke, is that within this area here?
You are 5 feet away from it. If it crashes right now, it'll hit Varro. You are just outside of its range.
Is it a deck save?
Most likely.
Okay.
Maybe he survived
I'm gonna say acrobatics. Oh wait, no. If it just comes down, yeah, it'd be a dexterity saving throw. I think bad moon rising. I think trouble all the way.
I believe in Amy.
Good lord.
Frostbite again on the creature. Make that con save. No more 20s for you.
How do you want to do this?
Excuse me?
How do you want to do this?
I did quite a bit of damage, man. Yeah.
Oh, well, this
Yeah.
whole thing is just going to turn into a nice chunk of block of ice.
As
It
you're
looks like a fire extinguisher went off.
as you create your arcane energy, having blood all over you of your own. You create this small energy of ice, and you, as the creature goes in to make another attack on your friend, all of a sudden Varro winces away for a second, only to see that right in front of his face is a frozen tentacle. And as he looks, the whole entire body freezes and locks up, contorts in pain, and then just shatters to the ground in this huge chunk of fleshy mush. So, James, from behind you, just looks at you and starts screaming, "No!" Let's see. I need a better music situation. Let's switch up my music. Better. The arcane energies that bound the creature to this plane begin to swirl in a violent torrent around the room as they depart back into the planes from which they originated. The energies shake the manor to the core. Fargeros falls to the ground, thankfully not doing any damage, but only thing he can see is light. An arcane energy flings, as arcane energy flings off the creature, a beam heads right for James, who looks gobsmacked at what's about to happen. The energy causes his body to convulse and shake violently. Pain racks his body as an ever-growing howl erupts from his mouth. You see his once youthful form start to shrink into that of an old man as he was when you first saw him, but grow ever worse. His eyes begin to sink into the back of his head. The skin of his body rots off, and all that's left for a brief moment is a skeleton before it disintegrates into a cloud of dust that begins to spin around the room. The forces at work in the room scatter the particles of the man once known as James Fairbank all across the room. A flash of light blinds you for a moment. As the light subsides, you see a large pile of flesh begin to continue to dissolve into ooze. All is still as the energies subside. You take a calm breath, your eyes still glued to the creature, hoping that this is truly the end. From the creature's eye, a light begins to grow. A beam of light shoots out into the ceiling of the cellar, creating a hole into the morning sky. You see what looks like people, souls, floating through the beams into the heavens. As you look up and watch the shaft of light, you come to realize that these are the souls that have been eaten by the creature.
It's like the Philosopher's Stone.
The souls are being set free. A familiar voice, as you're looking at the heavens and watching this spectacle of light, a familiar voice rings out below you. You look down. "Hey, you guys did well. You set us all free. And my detective work here is done. At least on this plane," Detective Rhubarb remarks. Next to him is Constable Custard, who smiles and stands next to his comrade. Rhubarb walks over to his pipe that's laying on the ground in front of the creature. He picks it up and dusts it off and walks over to Fargeros. "You know, every wizard should have a good pipe. This one has kept me company for a long time. I think maybe it's time it keeps you company," and hands it to you. "Well, heroes, your work here is done." He turns to walk into the light, but stops and turns back. One more thing. And he turns to point to his spirit, looking at Fargeros. And she's looking at him quite intently. Her hands are clasped together, and she is smiling. She rushes to you and hugs you. It's your sister, Tara. As she pulls back, you see in her hand her lost chisel. Thanks for finding it. She reaches for your hands and places the chisel in there. Take it. Keep it with you. And make beautiful carvings with it. She smiles as she's being pulled back into the light. As she smiles and nods, she simply says, "Bye, brother," and is gone.
Bye, sister.
Varro watches the scene and feels a tap on his shoulder. He turns to see a face he has only seen in his dreams of late. Petra is looking deeply into your eyes. She smiles and reaches for your face, placing both of her hands on the side of your cheeks. "Hey there, handsome," she says. She wraps her hands around you and gives you a big hug. She leans back and she says, "I'm finally going on an adventure. I'll be ready when you find me again." She kind of tilts her head and says, "Give him hell, handsome." She kisses you deeply and places her head on her forehead on yours. And as she releases, she is taken up by the power of the light back into the sky. She blows a kiss as she is being pulled up. Rhubarb is the last to go. He takes out his monocle and wipes it before being taken up into the sky. The shaft of light then begins to dissipate, and again, all is dark, save for the morning light pouring into the cellar from the hole in the sky. As the light begins to fade, you hear footsteps behind you. It's Jim. You think. For a moment, you think it's James back from the dead. You pull your weapons instinctively, ready to cast spells. But then you realize that's not James. Upon closer inspection, you see that it is in fact Jim. All of that energy had to go somewhere, and now it rested within Jim, giving him a second chance to live a different life. Jim walks to where he last saw his brother and picks up what dust he can find and places it in a small container. The room continues to go quiet. Through the hole in the ceiling, you hear birds chirping. You hear life start to return as the morning sun breaks over the horizon. The only thing that you hear in the room are the sound of tears being shed. Amy, the tiefling girl, slowly walks down the stairs. She is in shock and doesn't know what to say. Finally, she begins to break. As she sees the creature slain, her tears fill with more eyes, and she runs out of the cellar. This has all been too much for her. She has come to her end. As you guys make your way, is there anything else you'd like to do while you're down here?
Is the creature completely gone? Is that what you said?
It's dead, yeah.
But there's remnants of it.
It's quickly dissolving into ooze and slush. You realize at this pace, it's most likely not going to be anything of evidence for much longer. And once you know it, you forgot your selfie stick at home.
I'll probably make a drawing of it when I get home.
Var's just looking at where Petra went with tears in his eyes.
Wait, you say that again, Derek? It cut out for me.
I said Var's just looking where Petra went, tears in his eyes, just like not paying attention to anything else going on.
I'm probably getting up off the ground because I'm just like bleeding. But also got tears from... Oh man. Oh, gosh. You said Amy's gone though, right?
Yeah, she ran out.
Were there still bodies on the ground over there? Or were they gone, taken as well?
Yes, there's bodies over. Some of the maids and of the cooking staff.
Is there any cloth or anything like a shovel in here?
Is there a cloth or anything like a shovel?
Yeah.
I have to admit, I don't understand the question. Is there anything like a shovel? Make a perception check if you're looking over. Are you looking for a piece of cloth or a shovel, or I'm not sure how?
Either one.
There's cloth on the bodies. Like, what are you trying to do?
Like, are they covered?
They still have their clothes on, although they're kind of bloodied.
There's no, like, blanket or anything in here.
No.
Far away. I would hate to ask now, but do you have a shovel?
He's still staring. You get the sense you might have to actually like touch him to get him out of his stupor.
I'm probably gonna leave him there, but I'm gonna take my quarterstaff and try to start like making holes for the bodies. Is it dirt on the ground or is it wood?
It's stone.
I didn't ask. Okay, never mind.
So you start to try and dig.
I'll just try to clump the bodies together over there.
You're gonna have to work your way still through there's still a whole bunch of like rigging on top of the bodies, but it's just broke enough for the creature to be able to get through it with its tentacles. If that's the route you want to go with it.
Well, as the ink, like as the tink hits, reverberates around the room, Varl will turn over. Sorry, Figueros. Let me help you with that. He'll just take out his warhammer and just start smashing into the floor.
Jim kind of looks at you. What is it you two are doing?
Who are you?
He kind of shaking it back, and he's just like, "Oh no, it's." He's looking at his hands. I'm young again. And he's touching his face. There's no wrinkles. He moves his legs about, and he just realizes what's happened. You don't recognize me. I'm Jim. A younger Jim. And he has his rapier cane and flexes it a bit and realizes he has his youthful vigor back before sheathing it. He finds a nearby crate and sits down, trying to process everything that's happened to him.
It would seem your brother has paid a price, and in some way this is payback for all that he's done. For all this creature has possibly done to this town and everyone in it.
He just looks
I-
at his pouch and just doesn't really say much of anything.
Is he like visibly upset, or is he just sitting there thinking?
Make an insight check.
Also, out of character, the point of me was I was trying to figure out if I could take these bodies to bury them, because I would hate for them to just be sitting there.
You can't tell. You can't tell. He just kind of gone blank there for a second. There could be a lot of things, but you're not exactly sure. What?
Jim, are you okay?
My whole world's about to change. My brother's
Indeed.
dead. He doesn't say much to anything. He trails off as he just kind of sits there, you know. Either way, we should probably make our way back to town. Somebody.
Who do we talk to, seeing how the detective and constable are dead?
Well, there is a hierarchy above him. Most likely we'll have to talk with one of them. We'll have to send guards here, of course, collect the bodies. Be filled with whatever headache nightmare of investigation they're gonna come up with. But my word is credible in this town. Maybe. I look quite different.
I do have a sort of question, relationship, bargain, I guess is the word, to discuss with you, if you don't mind.
He
At a time
looks
like this.
He looks at you strange. What is this bargain?
As we've been standing here and stuff, I've been thinking. Obviously, my beloved wants me to adventure, and I would like to bring Fargeros, if you would like to come along, and maybe go help and save more people. Fargeros, would you like to help me save other people? Possibly?
Were you asking me or Jim?
You. Fargeros.
Ah. Perhaps once we've finished all the necessary investigations around the town, then, I'm sure my sister would say I should do it, so...
Yes, the powers that be will want to make sure they've had their say in the matter. You do have quite a bit of murders happening in the area, so chances are they're going to want to know about this.
Which I'm perfectly fine in, and this is going to be very crude of me to say, but I'm a practical person.
We'll
We
have
have
to make
all
sure.
lost a lot here today. Seen a lot. May I have permission to look through the house before we bring anyone else in, to make sure there's nothing else going on, and Or if there's anything to find.
I don't think anyone else knows we're here, other than I don't know. I don't know who else would know of this place.
Okay. So
But I know-
you guys want to search the house? Is that correct?
Yes.
I'll probably help him. Yeah.
As long as it's okay with young Jim.
It's fine with me. It's a matter of-
I don't want to loot the house, but
He starts thinking deeply for a moment. That may not be a bad idea. A man like Bergstaff, chances are, he's got to have a journal here somewhere. If he does, he most likely would have needed it to keep up with his facade for so long.
That's true.
We should probably find that. And as he does, he realizes that he starts getting these senses that he has never had before. And he realizes that he looks over and he's like, something. And he takes his staff and just kind of lays against the wall. And he looks at the piece of wood. And he starts, you notice him create a ball of acid and fire it at the wood. And you hear and he looks terrified. It seems I am left with his abilities. He starts looking around the room. Memories are coming back to him. We should go upstairs at once. And something in his eyes draws him to the upper levels. Something in his eyes has made you realize there's something that he's in desperate need to get a hold of. And that is where we're going to take a break. I have created a new moniker for our breaks, made with the assets that I have. And freaking, I'm glad to actually use it for a change. So we'll be back
ignore
here.
that roll.
We'll be back here in 10 minutes. Yeah. We'll see.
Go take your breaks.
When you choose to take the road, brother, please let the wind into your soul and start to breathe. Together we'll be free. It's not just you and me.
When you choose to take the road, sister, sing. Imagine all the words becoming real.
Together we'll be free. It's not just you and me.
And we are back. So, when we last left off, our mighty heroes have vanquished the huge heart of the manor. A strange occurrence, phenomenon happened after the battle, releasing all the souls that it had consumed over the years. Our characters had an opportunity to say some final farewells. And they noticed a much younger Jim than when they last saw him. A fortunate side effect of the destruction of the heart. Jim starts to recognize that he has the powers that his brother sought, and now finds himself terrified of what that means. He rushes upstairs, in haste. Varro, Fargeros, what are you guys doing?
I'll follow.
Okay.
You said he's going up where?
He's going back upstairs.
Yeah, I'm following.
As you guys get back upstairs, you notice that the house looks a bit more dilapidated than when you went down. The house looks a bit more unkept. Things look dingier, older. But the windows aren't steel, and all is quiet within the house. Jim looks around and makes his way past, moves in the direction of the housing quarters. He easily jumps past the pit that was the trap that was there earlier, and heads in the direction of the front of the house. Do you guys follow then?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you guys follow, you see that the armory is even more dilapidated than what it was whenever you first walked through. It's becoming clear to you now that the house was kept mostly together by this creature. As you guys make your way upstairs, the rooms don't smell as fresh. Dust continues to just assault your nostrils as Jim makes his way into the master bedroom. Once you guys are in there, you see bloodstains from where Burkstaff had lost his life, and you still see chunks of Constable Custard's head, though of course the body is no longer there. Jim walks into the room, and by the time you guys are able to catch up, his hands are on his head, and he's all of a sudden his head snaps up, and he walks over to the bed, and he reaches along the edge of it before you hear and the bed lifts upward. It's kind of one of those I can't think what they're called, like king beds that have like all the like the poles and stuff on the end, and the bed actually lifts up, and as it does, you see there's a whole bunch of, how do I put this? It's like a shelf under the bed, but like the books just obviously it's enchanted to hold books, So as you look up, you essentially see a bookcase suspending, but the books don't fall. And you notice that a table comes up with it, and a place to sit. It is his hidden desk. As you start going through each one of the volumes, you notice a correlating year with each one of them. Jim just stares like, what is this?
You said with all the books that he has in here, there's a correlating year?
Along the spine.
The spine.
Along the spine, there are years on them. What are you guys doing?
Is there anything I can ascertain from, like, is it like a coded?
You notice that there's as you look at the years, there's a 5-year gap between each volume.
And this is just a bookcase up against. Is it up against something?
Okay, so let me explain that one. So the bed lifts up, and as you look up underneath the bed, they're bookcases, but according to the rules of gravity, the books should just fall off, but they don't.
Oh, so they're like upside down. So
Well,
gravity would have them fall.
They should, but they're not. So they're arcanely held up there.
Is there a mechanism causing it that we can tell, or I can do an investigation for?
Roll an investigation check.
Now, would it be Arcana, or is it just investigation for this? I guess because I'm looking for it. 18.
There's no mechanism, but when you look at it, you do notice that that around the bed there is wood, but then all of a sudden it goes to lead. So it becomes instinctual for you to know that if someone was using detect magic, they wouldn't be able to see past the lead. Varro, what are you doing?
While they're doing, I'm gonna leave the bookworms to the books. To you people, I'm gonna start searching the rest of the house, and then
Okay.
I'll go and start like going through bedroom, just everywhere, just trying to look, see if there's maybe some gold running around, any cool useful items that I think will be needed, stuff like that.
Okay, let me look at something quick.
I need to roll perception or investigation checks, which I suck at both.
This is why you ask for help.
I'll let you guys do the bookwormy thing.
Well, if you wait for me, I can help you.
Don't you have like 20 books to read?
I'm not gonna read all of them now.
You call him a bookworm. He hasn't even picked up a book.
I'm about to.
That's strange.
I found 400 platinum.
Not that kind of strange, probably.
If Varro could count to 400, I'd be impressed.
Wow, I'm not dumb. I do have an intelligence of +1, man. I'm not very wise, but I'm not +0 on that.
You could be like Caleb. 1, 2, 3.
Caleb's intelligence is like a +5. He's got a 20 intelligence. I don't know what you're talking about.
He counts gold like really slow though.
He does.
Maybe he's worn out from telling the laws of physics to sit down and shut up while he does his business. Oh my gosh. Okay, so while you guys are looking at the book, I'm gonna hang out with Varro for a second here. So Varro makes his way through the house, and you notice that you start noticing a trend. Like, the house looked only as good as what the creature wanted you to see. And so, a lot of the jewels and fancy things look
fake.
Yeah, for the most part. You go down, like, even if, as you make your way through the rooms, even the linens look like they're a lot older and not as comfortable as what they once did. You make your way through to the trophy room, and if there was anything of value, it's now buried under, several feet of sand. You make your way to the kitchen. It's still pretty much destroyed as far as that goes.
I raid the fridge.
As you get into the fridge, all the food there is spoiled.
Well, this is just a disappointing end to a disappointing day, and shut the door really hard.
Make an investigation check for me.
Woo! This. Bam! 11.
As you slam the refrigerator door close, you hear and almost followed by a huge crash as you notice that, as tarnished as they are, silver plateware and flatware is still on the crashes out of this cabinet. So it's probably worth I'd say 200 silver.
Oh. So wait, do I actually have to take all this and
You would need to take it and sell it, yeah.
We're not gonna worry about that then. Continue on.
As you make your way through the dining room, you notice that the table is, of course, the wood's kind of warped from age and water damage. The paintings look like cheap imitations, and you can't even quite tell what they are anymore. You would almost feel disgusted that you ate here if you had not eaten in worse conditions than this.
Probably shouldn't show Vargaros this.
Weak constitution. So, as you make your way through the dining room, you come back around to the library hoping to find books to sell. And
at this point, I'm just gonna start looking for gold, actual money anywhere.
You continue to make your way through the library. Most of the once filled bookshelves barely have any books that are there, and you grab one, and it almost disintegrates into your hand. Nothing of great importance. And as you make your way back, I guess at this point, upstairs, you find yourself in the same hallway as where the master bedroom is. You could check the attic.
Oh no, Varro will not go back in.
Okay. And you find yourself coming up that hallway. In the meantime, Jim and Vargaros are in the master bedroom, kind of looking at this space. Chris?
I didn't realize you were queuing me. I was waiting for... Like, is my queue, or what are you doing?
Well, his scene is end, so I said Jim and Fargeros. So, I mean,
You were saying something, so I wasn't sure if you were still, like, thinking of what to say, because I didn't take that as a cue. I wasn't going to assume that you were done.
What are you doing with Jim in the room while Varro is moving?
Okay. I probably would have gone through the books at this point. I'm trying to figure out what these are.
It's kind of a jump back in time. So, like, while he's doing that, when we're picking up where he just walked out of the room. So he just did his. So, like, it's as the moment he left the room. What did you do with the? Are you doing anything with the books or?
Yeah, I would have started reading them, like skimming through and figuring out what each book was. Like, I would probably look at the actual outsides of the spines because you were saying the 5-year gap, but I try to notice, which ones are journals and which ones are actually like probably arcane specific.
Okay. So as you start piling through the book, you start at one end and just kind of pull it off the shelf. As you glance through it, you start noticing dates, and you notice that it outlines the TLDR is that you're noticing that Berkstaff has been keeping record of his time in the arcane arts. He had a disease that was rare to elves, and his more plentiful years had been cut short, and he wasn't about to have that. So, pouring through his books, he did what he could to find a cure for it. Unfortunately, his cure led him to make a pact with a giant fiend, which you have come now to know was the monster in the basement. He outlines a pact that he made that if he were to feed it every 5 years, he would enjoy the life force that the creatures had. And so you come to understand his motivations. And as you pick up another volume, it talks about the going-ons of that year and the major players in that particular time. A lot of these you can somewhat remember. And if he ever needed to resort to a story, he now had a record of what happened, what he did, and it comes to and it talks about his account, what he said versus what had happened, and how he was able to spin it around, but how he used the riches that he had gotten to make himself look better. And so each new volume that you pick up is essentially the same, just the people are different, and the different the circumstances behind there. So you've come to find out that has been a very master manipulator.
So in this, am I recognizing that he's logging in people that he's killed or fed to the creature?
Correct. You see names, you see dates, you start to see little code in the margin, and since you still had that code book in there, you're able to pretty decipher what he means, and that his and how he's able to accomplish his kills. So the first few volumes, like I said, are kind of the same, and so what catches your eye is as you look down there, you see a book with a date on it that is a bit more recent. As you open it up and start to kind of look through it, you read of how Petra was killed. And you all of a sudden notice your sister's name. And you find out how the chisel got in there and how he had lifted it off of her and threw it in the pot and had helped her look around for it where it could have gotten off to. And the tricks that he used to get her into position to feed her to the creature.
Just like my dad, always keeping secrets. These rich people. At this point, I've closed the book and put it up there, but I would have made notes probably in a separate set of papers I have on me. Because I do have... Are there any other books other than journal?
Make an investigation check.
Let me make one question before I do this. You said this whole thing is arcane in nature, like you said with the nature of it?
There's an enchantment on there to keep the books in a hidden way.
Could you say I could try to maybe notice those things that seem more arcane in nature? Or would I need to do like a detect magic? I guess it wouldn't. It would just light the whole thing up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do investigation if that's what you're asking. 17.
Okay. You can cast detect. Do you have any level? You don't have any level 1 spells, so you wouldn't be able to do that today anyway.
I can do detect magic as a ritual. It'd be about 10 minutes.
Does it say ritual?
Mm-hmm. I think that's actually the only way I can cast it, unless...
Yeah, I think you're right. No, detect magic said... Oh, okay, yeah. It says casting time... Okay, yeah, I need to learn how to do that crap. Okay, so let's handle this. Investigation. 17. The intrinsic nature of the bookshelf being the way that it is lends you to believe that you're most likely not dealing with just one secret, that there's probably more. As you search through the area, you 17. You get the impression that there is, but you can't tell where it would be at. If you want to take the time to do that, you're more than welcome. Jim, on the other hand, this psychotic bastard, he meticulously wrote about how he killed all of them. What kind of man? And before he finishes his thought, he, like you, closes it and shoves it back in there. Well, we have all the evidence we need. All we need to do is show the authorities this, and we'll have we won't have any trouble with them. He takes the first couple of books and then the last couple of books and has them kind of bundled together and sets them on the nightstand to be taken in. Are you casting detect magic?
Yes. I
Okay.
probably would have done that the minute he made it started grabbing books, probably.
So you obviously the shelves that are under the bed, and it's a good king size bed. So there's, I mean, as you look over there, and it's a weird kind of a contraption. There's like chain from the floor, and as the chain comes up, a plank of wood is caught with it, making a writing surface for him to sit on. For him to write on. You notice a square plank of wood in the ground next to you, and there's a faint glow, but you're not exactly sure what's down there. You all of a sudden you see this kind of outline of blue light around it.
You said it's like a plank on the ground next to me?
If you're standing in the middle, it'd be right around your right foot. Yeah.
And that's the only thing around me within 30 feet, other than the
Other than
bookcase.
that you can tell, yeah.
You said it's like a cutout in the floor?
So think of a plank of wood, and then it's probably about it's about 3 foot by 3 foot, and it's just kind of like this outline, as if something around it is like the light that you're looking for is shining up through it. Now, normally, if the wood hadn't been warped because of the creature going away, like, you wouldn't have been able to see it. But because the creature is dead, like the wood is warped so much that you can see through it. You can there's cracks in it now, so you're able to see through it.
I'll probably use Yara's chisel to kind of...
It's a small chisel. It's not something that you could just go through a huge chunk of wood with.
No, but are there like edges around to maybe like
It's a
use
big
it maybe to
it's
ply
a
it?
it's a big thick chunk of wood. And the chisel that she has is for detail work. Like, you'd use a small mallet to kind of chisel through to make fine detail work on a spine or something like that, or a book cover. About this time, though, Varro does come in and sees Farragos looking at the ground, trying to get at something there.
So I have a question. How long would them doing all this versus me looking around the... what was what's the time? Would it have taken the same amount of time, or would they have taken longer to get through all this stuff?
It's probably taken about the same amount of time. Mostly the spellcasting has taken the most of it, because you're walking through there and you're walking at a pretty brisk pace, and you've made your way through the kitchen. There's nothing really there, and the only goods you really see are the silver that you found, and then like there's nothing that really grabs your attention. Everything looks like it was dingy. The cleanest looking place was actually the master bedroom, and that's only because he was living there.
So it would have taken me, what, say 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes?
About 15-20 minutes, yeah.
How long does it take to detect magic?
It's 10 minutes, so
10 minutes.
Plus all the reading and stuff?
I'm a fast reader.
Yeah, they're fast reader. Like, he's
How
a fast reader.
reader?
I'm a 19 intelligence, so I better be fast.
So he skims through it, and he's able to read and get the gist of it. Like his intelligence is at the point to where he doesn't read the words out in his brain. He's able to read a whole entire page and get what it's saying in a matter of minutes. So he didn't go through all the books. He maybe went through maybe 3 volumes. The first couple.
It still would have taken them longer than me, probably. Correct. At least 5, maybe 5-10 minutes.
10 minutes for the cast. To read probably about 10 minutes or so. By the time you walked out, and looked through the rooms, I'd probably say it took you 25 minutes and it took them 20. So there's not that much of a difference, but about 5 minutes.
Dang. Well, then that ruins my plan. Fine. All right.
What was your plan?
Well, so at this point, after looking through, Varro is exhausted and is honestly just ready to go to sleep. His battle adrenaline has worn off. He's kind of like stumbling around. He is ready to go to sleep. He's been fighting on like 5-6 hours of sleep nonstop since he woke up. Basically, and been running around doing all this crap. So I was gonna say if they would have taken longer, I probably would have just sat outside and fell asleep. If I took longer, then I'll come in.
Well, I mean, at that point, there's not much of a huge disparity, but you do see Farragos just on the ground trying to get at something in the ground. He's trying to use a small, like, little chisel to kind of get at this huge chunk of wood.
Figueroa, can I help you? Can I help you? Yeah, can I help?
Yes, please.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to find out what is underneath this floorboard, or you said it's made of wood, right? So this plank.
It's a floorboard, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
By the way, did you ever pick up that sword that did nothing but roll ones? I don't think that you did.
My sword? Yeah, I picked it up.
Because I'm kind of wondering if you just abandoned your sword.
No, I would have picked it up, like, after the battle.
Stupid sword.
It would have just dropped right there, and I would have picked it up after the battle.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way
Stuck
I'd
in the
just leave my
skin.
longsword. That's worth, like, how much is that thing worth? Longsword is worth... That's 15 freaking gold, man. I ain't just leaving the longsword behind.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You like it rolled 3 ones in a row. That's a cursed sword if I ever found one.
That's why I left it behind so I can think about what it's done. So I'll walk up and I will actually take the sword and move him over and stick the sword like in between, and then try to wrench up the floorboard.
Make a strength check for me.
Be careful.
Yeah, Varro is no longer.
Bomb.
He's half asleep at this point. Yeah, he's not taking that advice here.
Oh no!
The whole house explodes.
I'm not now. For the record, I'm not trying to just rip this thing open. I am trying to do it, but I am using strength to do it.
Yeah.
15.
15.
Does he get assists from me or no?
Oh no.
Okay, fine, never mind. I didn't do anything. I just watched him.
You take your mighty sword, and you plunk it in the board, and you hear in one motion you pa-chink, and all of a sudden you pull your sword back up and you realize that it shouldn't have made that sound. And as you look at the tip of your sword, the tip has actually been broken off. You look down there and you're like, what made that? And you see a safe.
I'm gonna look at my sword. I'm gonna look down the safe. I'm gonna look over Figueroas. Look back at my sword. Look at Figueroas. The floor broke my sword. I'm going to bed now. And I'm putting the sword away, and I'm walking to the corner, and I'm sitting down and closing my eyes.
So you're gonna take a short rest?
Yeah. Oh, it depends. We'll see how if I wake up after all this, whatever they do.
All right.
Because I'm to the point of exhaustion because I never got my full rest, so I'm running on technically a couple short rests and 2 days and tons of fighting.
Okay. So,
yeah. What do I see now?
you see this wood flip up, and and below it is a safe.
Is it a combo or a key?
It is a combination. Well, would you look at that?
Jim, are you would you be good with this kind of thing?
Well, let me have a look at it. Let me see what we're dealing with. And did you still have your detect magic up?
Yes.
It is radiating magic.
The whole safe?
The whole safe.
Oh. Hold on. Let me take a look at something. No, I don't have any. Oh, that's an expensive spell. Never mind. Would I know what? It says you learn at School of Magic, if any. Do I know what the magic this is?
Through detect magic, I don't think that gives that to you.
It says on here that it does. I'm posting it. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, obviously, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. But it says it does learn the School of Magic, if any.
Given that it is the safe, given that it's the safe,
Oh man, I made him think.
you can't really tell if there's actually a school so much as it's just the object that is magical. Enchanted. Do you touch it?
Do I touch it? No.
Touch the butt.
Shut up, you're asleep.
I'm just looking at this thing that's just radiating magic, and I'm just frightened to some degree, but also, like, I'm really curious. So I am tempted to touch it, but I haven't touched it yet. Because I'm letting Jim kind of figure out if he can do anything with it. Since he's the trickier fingers here.
How is he trickier fingers?
Well, they're the ones that, like, vanished and were being sneaky the whole time until we found them.
He made a high check. Varro failed. It's not like
Whoa.
it's magic. Shut up, you're asleep. They went downstairs. They hid behind plants in a pot. He didn't look around. He didn't see him. He made the passive perception. It didn't click, and he left. And then they got yeah.
Way to go, Varro. I'm kidding.
I mean, a 6-year-old and some parlor tricks could have done just as well. Okay. Jim, well, hold on just a second. Let me see if this will work. He starts creating a glob of acid. And he kind of drops it, and I put away my dice. He drops it right on the locking mechanism. And what is
Good thing you have that spell. I don't have that spell. You might have to show me how you do that.
you didn't choose? I forget how you do cantrips. That's one of his
Yeah,
cantrips.
you pick a certain amount, and then, yeah.
Noob.
I think cantrips are stay as they are. You don't switch those out, but
Yeah,
the other spells you do.
I didn't think you did either. Yeah.
Yeah, cantrips are like what you learned in school and you basically never forgot about, kind of thing.
Like freaking
Mine,
math.
yeah, mine happen to be mostly freezing people, so because of my crystal, it's an affinity to cold. It's like Jaina.
No.
Frostmourne hungers.
No. Golly, I rolled the same set of 7, 3. The acid eats away at the lock, but you can see just by it the damage that's being done that it's not very. It would take a lot more for it to open up.
In that case, I'm gonna cast. Probably Ray of Frost to help him out on that save. How much did it cut through that? It just kind of.
Like you saw it sizzle a little bit, but I mean, by and large, it's mostly unscathed.
Unfortunately, I don't have any other spells. How heavy is it? Is it just built into it, or is it actually like something that could be wiggled out?
You gonna touch it?
She's gonna try to make me touch this thing.
You have 1 hit point left. I'm just gonna point that out.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not touching anything. I could touch it with my stick. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna poke it with a stick. Anything happen?
Hold
With
on.
a quarterstaff? God, if I blow up the house because I poked this thing with a stick.
Varro's just asleep in the corner.
Are you
For the record, Varro's passed out.
Oh no. What is that face?
Are you watching his stream?
Yeah, I'm watching it. I
You
see his face and no, I'm not metagaming. He's just DMing right now. And I'm looking at him. He's like trying to figure out how we're gonna survive this for the next module.
I mean, Varro's pretty much good. You.
Yeah, I got 1 HP.
Varro's good, man.
Can I roll my heat? I don't know. I might just rest at this point and play with a safe later.
You already touched the butt. We're gonna see if you get captured in a plastic bag and taken to an aquarium.
I poked it with my quarterstaff. I mean, he didn't touch it, but he touched it with acid.
Yeah, he wasn't actually making contact with anything either.
The acid was.
You're actually, yeah, but his acid was not connected to him. So you're touching the thing, it's touching you.
Well, if anything, I would have cast Ray of Frost on it.
Okay. Let me get my Chinese dice out because you're.
Oh, Mage Hand. I could use Mage Hand on it and see what happens.
No! You already touched it with the stick.
Oh my
1,
gosh.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
I mean, Jim's closer to the thing. If anything, he's gonna get hit.
2. Crap! I forgot what that means. Dagnabbit, I really should write these down.
Varro, before I poke this thing.
He's asleep, man.
He's just like. Well, gotta conduct the experiment myself. With Jim's help.
Oh crap! Okay. 1, 3, 6, 12. Okay, so as you reach over and you touch this safe
With my staff.
with with your wooden staff.
These details are important, okay?
Yeah, no, they are. You touch the thing to the staff, all of a sudden you hear it snaps your quarterstaff, it explodes. Damn it. You need to learn how to never mind. Okay. Make a dexterity save for me.
What do I need to do?
Oh, you lucky. So as this thing touches the wood, it puts all of this damage into the wood. The tip of it blows it apart. Electricity crackles in the air.
I knew it.
And so, because you made your save and it didn't conduct electricity, it was going to kill you. I don't. Okay, maybe I should have had you fail that save if you're gonna laugh like that. Oh my gosh.
No, I was either doing that or the Mage Hand. I was like, I figured it. I had an idea that it was going to be electricity for some reason. That's why I poked it with a stick. I'm just glad I poked it with a stick and not something else. Like Varro's sword. Who's asleep, but you know.
Let's Mage Hand. Is Mage Hand a cantrip? I think it is.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. So I can cast it whenever. At least in this situation, I can cast it whenever. The only thing is it says it can't activate magic items, so I don't know if that falls in line with this situation. This is like a magic trap more than it is an item.
Yeah, you know. Jim just kind of jumps back. Perhaps we should get some professionals to do this.
Quick question though, is it still glowing after that?
Glowing how?
Well, usually like when a trap went off, I was wondering if it like was still detect magic, like if the trap was arcana in nature, it would have expended itself. So I'm wondering if the glow is gone or not.
Let me see. Because I'm trying to see if you did something that would break detect magic.
Well, it's concentration and it's up to 10 minutes, so...
So, I'm... Okay, 10 minutes has not passed yet. But what I will say is... Okay, you didn't take damage. It is still glowing. Yes, it's still glowing. It's not glowing because of the trap. Because if you didn't have detect magic, it would just look like a metal safe. But because you have detect magic on, I'm going to say that it it is definitely still glowing.
So, deducing that it's still trapped? Booby trapped?
You can try it, see if it's still trapped.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and try and touch it again.
As the mage hand touches the metal there, it's not able to move it because it's locked.
Is the what do you call that? The wheel still movable for the locking code pad? I'm trying to think of the word for it. Tumbler.
That is a the combination part of it. You mean?
Yeah, the actual twisty thing. Like sometimes they're like little padlock things where you can, move the little dials, or it's like the ones that are circular, like the old-fashioned, mainly the, circular ones.
So the dial does.
Dial. There you go.
You can take your hand off there and use it to move it. You can move that. It still moves, for the most part. Now, whether it's destroyed the device in there, you don't know. The tumbler's inside of it. So the lock might not activate because you poured acid on it, or acid was poured on it. Perhaps we should take a cue from your friend and get some rest. This isn't going anywhere.
Well, you're probably right. But more than likely, your acid's the only thing that's going to open this safe unless we find the code. But for now, let's rest.
Let's rest. Okay. What's that hut? What's that hut spell?
So I can create a hut. It's a
What's the name of the spell?
tiny hut. I'll spell it.
No,
Oh,
it's
here.
It's tiny hut.
Whose tiny hut?
It's
tiny hut.
tiny hut. So casting. Oh, it's only 1 minute.
Casting time is 1 minute. It's a ritual.
Oh well, so plus 10 minutes. It's 11 minutes casting time.
So, you guys gather around and create a hut for you guys inside the building. You take the books inside just in case. Or Jim picks up the books and walks inside, and you walk around Varro, who's asleep by this point, and you create this tiny. You go through the motions of creating this tiny hut for you guys to get some rest. Exhausted, weary. It doesn't take long for you guys to fall asleep.
For the record, Varro did not move.
Varro, what?
Varro is still in his corner. Varro
Yeah.
did not move.
He went over there and created it around you as you slept.
Okay, cool.
So.
Yeah, it's painted light blue.
And I think
Varro
with that,
will never see that.
as the day tarries on, I think that is where we're gonna end this session.
Yee.
Fair enough. How long was that?
Oh,
They actually make use of these spells. Because I know
Well-
these ritual ones are.
this will be good for as we go forward into this, because then, like I said, I'll pick a new module, and we'll kind of decide where that is gonna go from there. And but we'll have a couple of weeks before we get started with that. We'll have our Let's Talk next week. So that being said, thank you everyone who was watching us today. We appreciate you all.
Narcotic Elf, I think, is in the chat. Still watching?
I hope so.
Real? Cool. Hello.
Nicole, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. I hope that it has been educational at the very least to see how this team of players play. That being
being
said,
banished, attacking, and then sleeping, basically. That's
Not
all Varro did this time.
not much different from Derek in real life, IRL. So, all right, thank you guys so much. I'm so very appreciative of your viewership, and I will see you guys on the next edition of Learning 5e D&D. Good night.
Bye bye.